I am a full human and there are so many facets to me. So no matter where I'm put for somebody else's compartmentalization, I'm going to show up as the fullest version of who I am and stay true to myself.
If Manny goes with Sammy, hell, that's what he's yearning for.
Let different rhythms move your seat, for I have often found we all dance to a different beat, and that's what makes the world go round.
As someone who identifies as non-binary, how do you feel like that informed your portrayal of Jerry Daphne?
In every way. Truly, there were so many things that in my journey found their way into the script. When Joe asked me, what do I call you, Jerry, Daphne? And I say either with respect, with love and respect. That's what I say in interviews, in our first meet and greets. I say, J. Harrison G, all things with respect. Because I walk in the fullness and the power of who I am, and I don't expect other people to get that all the time. And I don't have to explain that because I know who I am and whose I am and how I walk in the fullness of who I am. So as long as I'm grounded in myself and aligned and meeting myself every day, that is what rings true and I think is what connects with people. I'm going to show up as the fullest version of who I am and stay true to myself. And so I had to allow myself the moment in my mind to go to the Tony Awards, to stand there. And if I were to be receiving this award, how do I represent myself? How do I speak not only for myself, but for the community, for others, for the society as a whole, to move us all forward? And the nomination alone is really making a step forward, of making space and allowing the work to speak for itself and to honor the human for the work that's being done.
Talk to me about the reception that you've gotten from people who see themselves in Daphne.
It has been overwhelming at times, but in the most beautiful way. Just last night, there were a group of queer and trans and non-binary kids at the show. And I knew there were students in the audience because there's always just a younger energy. But seeing them at the stage door was so moving. There was literally one of them who said to me, I've never seen myself portrayed so beautifully in a character and so validated. And I walked back into the stage door and got overwhelmed and kind of welled up. And the stage door security guy was like, are you all right? And I'm like, yeah, but it's just beautiful to see so many people affected and moved.
That's why you do it.
It really is.
Now you could knock me over with a feather, 'cause Joe, the lady that I'm loving is me.
One of my favorite experiences so far is Leon, our stage door security guy. He watched the show opening night and was sitting next to a cisgender white man. And after I finished my song in Act 2, You Could Have Knocked Me Over with a Feather, the man turned to the lady he was with and just said, I need to treat my son better.
Oh, God.
And those are the moments, those are the reviews, the things I care about. When you're walking in that purpose and with intention and the love that I try to do with everything, that is what matters to me. That is the effectiveness that I hope to bring to the world and the work.
Some Like It Hot is the most nominated musical at the Tonys this year. You're being lauded for your performance. The show is being lauded from everything from costumes to stage direction. But it's also in a moment where offstage, trans people are not only fighting for rights, but they're fighting for their lives. Yeah. How does it feel to kind of stand in that overlap?
I used to say I wasn't a political person. I didn't vote. I stayed away from it and for so many reasons. And during the pandemic, I had a moment of revelation and someone confirmed that by sending me an interview that Toni Morrison did, talking about how as artists, our life is innately political. And art should be beautiful and effective. And so I know that when I leave my home, I am making a political statement as a Black queer human being in this world. And so I try to be intentional with everything that I do. And as an artist, I really try to be intentional about letting the work be something that is effective. And again, moving the needle forward in society. We shape culture as artists. And I don't think people really know the span of that and the depth of that, really. I'm excited to share this moment with my mom, who is my date for the Tonys.
Aww.
I wouldn't want anybody else with me. And so getting her to walk in this moment with me to be able to give her her flowers, to show her the fruits of her labor as a parent, as a mother, is what excites me the most about this moment, to share this with her, and even getting her to step out of her comfort zone of what she's choosing to wear.
Yeah.
I'm like, this isn't a church event. This isn't like, you know,
You gotta pop out.
we live the full fantasy.
Yeah.
I was like, I want you to feel like the beautiful queen that you are. Step out of your comfort zone. I told her, I was like, I wouldn't have wanted anyone else next to me for this moment to share in the joy and the fullness and the beauty and the grandeur that this is. So it's all the things. It's everything, literally everything.